Hey, Grand Rising, what's up, family? Y'all give us a couple minutes and we're gonna get this show started. We're gonna share this to the people and then we're gonna get it in. All right. Give me a quick second. Hold up, y'all. All right. I think we're about ready. Oh shit, let me turn the music off.
Which page you going live off? The Stuart Fields page?
Nah, it's on the Anointed Hands. It's
Facebook.
on Anointed Hands on Facebook. Ooh, brother. All right. Hey, what's up, Omar? Yeah, good to see you, brother. Hey, we about to get started. Grand Rising family, I want to welcome you to another episode of NCRBGZ Productions. Today we got a nice show set up for the family. The name of the show is Students of Dr. York Address the Slander / reviewing the new Dr. York autobiography. Biology. And I have some esteemed guests up here today. What I want to do is I want to give everybody opportunity to introduce themselves to the family. And once they introduce themselves, we're going to bring the speaker on. We have a guest today that's coming here today to set the record straight. You know, he on a world tour, so we got to keep him in front of everybody so we can help promote the book and also address this slander. You know what I'm saying? Because the slander been going on for too long. Right. With that being said, I want to give y'all brothers the opportunity to introduce yourselves, and I'm gonna bring the speaker on after the panel members introduce themselves.
Go ahead, Elder.
Go ahead, Neb. I don't know if he's frozen right now.
Right back. Right back. My name's Neb Unk. I'm in Ray. I'm here for the support. Friends of Malachi. Here to hear the brothers speak out. Brother Khonsu. Hope everybody's doing fine. This crazy weather out here. Out there in the south. All this snow and stuff. Hope you all being safe and everything. That's all I'm gonna say. Salute to everybody. One love.
All right, family. Right now, Elder, you up here?
Yeah.
All right, the floor yours, brother.
You hear me? Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah. I was hold on, brother Khonsu. I'm gonna bring you on. I was trying to let the elder, but I think the elder having some technical difficulties. So family, we'll let the elder speak when he get in, when he get himself together. But today, family, we have brother Khonsu, the real NUWAUPIAN up here. This is second time being on NCRPGZ Productions. The brother is a student of Dr. Malachi Z. York. And we're gonna let him introduce himself. I'm gonna ask him a couple questions, and we're gonna allow him to, basically clear up a lot of this lies and that's been going around about Dr. Malachi Z. York. So brother Khonsu, glad to have you here, brother. How you been? How you been?
Oh man, all is well, my brother. All is well. First and foremost, let me say Tawu Hot, thank you for having me on again. And let me say honor to everybody that's watching, taking your time out to watch. Peace and love to the brother Neb Ankh. Peace and love to the elder Ramesu. He had technical difficulties, but I'm thinking we might have to have him go out and come back in. And peace and love to everybody, man, from Anointed Hands group. And let me send a big shout out to the brother Taharka, who helped put together the book and also helped put together the first book, which was The Man of Many Faces, which was basically the autobiography of the life and the legacy of Dr. Malachi York. And in this new updated version, I was blessed to assist with the foreword, and I did a live interview on the book. And this is basically the updated version, and it's addressing. It's the autobiography with some updated information, and we're basically addressing a lot of the slander from a lot of the platforms, not only just the social media conscious community platforms, but also major platforms like People Magazine, the Discovery Channel. And so our aim is to reverse some of the negative publicity about Dr. York with truth and facts that have been kept and hidden in the shadows for quite some time. So I appreciate you having me, my brother.
Okay, so brother Khonsu, tell me a little bit about you. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Like, how was you introduced to Dr. York? Or how did you find out about his teachings?
I am just a little background information for myself. I'm born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia, Grady baby, East Side to be exact. And I am of biracial descendancy. My father's African American or East African Sudanese legacy through my great grandfather, and my mother's descendancy is Irish. And I'm 34 years old, and I've actually been studying the teachings of NUWAPO, the teachings of Dr. Malachi York since I was about 16 years old. And I came into the information as a child. My family was Christian, raised in the church. We wasn't forced to go to church. I haven't really had any experiences prior to just reading the Bible, with that. So being that I came into this information at such a young age, 16 years of age, through my older cousin, Kaba Atum Ray. Shout out to my cousin Mario, Kaba Atum Ray. He's the one that introduced the NUWAUPIAN teachings to, it's about 6 of my family members now, cousins, sisters, that study the teachings. And I remember the first book I read, the first scroll I read was one of the God series scrolls, Does Religion Breed Ignorance? And after I read that, it pretty much summed it up. It was such a small informational pamphlet, but it packed such a powerful punch because it explained how not just Christianity in particular, but how all main monotheistic religions bred not only ignorance but war. Most of your religious wars are fought over, religious beliefs, and they cause separatism and division. And since that time, man, it really, I mean, I just literally took off. For me, it was, I can't explain it, but after that first book, the information is what attracted me to the teachings. And I was so amazed at the different amount of vast information that was in the books. And one thing that amazed me too was how one man was capable and able of producing so much information on different topics, because, you know, once you got done with the religious portion, now you get into quantum physics, science, the extraterrestrial aspect, you get into Pan-Africanism, you getting into, I mean, metaphysics, mysticism, occultism. I mean, you getting into some serious information. And so that's what attracted me to the books. And I liked the fact that Malachi was not only teaching his people, but he was making a way for his people by building a land for them, creating a language for them, and giving them opportunities to really be and live in a sovereign indigenous way. And literally, man, since that time, I just increased in the studies. I got off track for a couple of years when I was younger, got into a little trouble, went to prison and stuff like that. But that actually stepped me up in my studies, because I communicated with brothers and sisters and kept in touch with the elders and kept in touch with the bookstore. Shout out to South Carolina, Charleston, South Carolina, my brother Amsa Ray, Ketwas, Hotep, Amanet. And those were the people that really groomed me during that time. And when I was also teaching NUWAUPIAN in the system. And man, it just, that information, man, it's never ending. So that's pretty much what attracted me to the teachings right there.
Okay, well,
And a part of that, a part of that, you know, as I learned the teachings, it was right close to the time to the case. So I had to simultaneously learn the case, because I was interested in the case and why he had been in prison and stuff like that. So
okay, so one question that one of the people in the chat asked is, which book is you speaking of? I guess the first book that you said you read, what was the name of that book?
yeah. Does Religion Breed Ignorance? Is one of the God series scrolls.
Okay, I hope that answered your question, Nisi. Hey, brother Neb or brother Elder Ramesu, if you here, you can introduce yourself. Or Neb, if y'all have a question for the brother, y'all can ask him a quick question. Then we're gonna let him get in here and do what he came to do.
Peace, family.
I'm just happy. Y'all keep going in and out, so I keep losing part of the conversation.
Hey, Elder Ramesu, if you leave out and come back in, it might fix the problem.
Share.
Yeah, if you close the app, leave out of it, and then come back into the Zoom meeting, it might fix it.
Okay, I got you.
Hey, you can go ahead now.
One thing I'm gonna say, I'm gonna keep it short. Brother Khonsu's real. The real NUWAUPIAN, that's what he is. He go to bat, no, with no problem. He's gonna bring the facts to you. He's been on Slanderers show and Crumb TV, and he's on Facebook always. The Lions Den. He's doing his thing. He's holding it down. He's true to the game. He's true to the way. We don't believe in nothing, like he said. Don't believe in nothing. Where you know, he stand by his facts. He's a real dude, and he ain't gonna hold no punches. And that's all I'm gonna say about that.
All right. Well, so you don't have no question to ask him? Just made a statement. Okay.
Well,
Nice.
okay. One question. Okay, one question. Oh man, do you think it's probably a little early right now? Do you ever think that Doc have a chance of getting out personally?
Man, that's that's such a sensitive question. Not for, because like I say, me and you, like you say, we talk on the regular, not just on social media. You call to check on me and stuff. we know each other a little deeper than that. So to me and you, is not a sensitive question, but to a lot of people, it's a sensitive question. I will say this: after studying the case files, the transcripts, going over interviews from the attorneys that worked on the case, going over interviews from Dr. York, audio interviews from Dr. York, and matching those to the transcripts and seeing that everything that Dr. York said in audio matched what he said in the transcripts and was right and exact. When you look at how the conspiracy was built around Malachi York, when you look at the amount of effort, there is a FBI report, a 1993 FBI report that we are trying to get. And hopefully the same information that was released about Fred Hampton and the people that set him up, hopefully we can get some insight on that, because we do know that there is FBI files that existed on Malachi and the organization going back to the 80s, early 80s on up through the 90s. And when you study the intricacy of his case and how they you got to keep a couple things in mind, right? The courtroom was closed in Malachi's trial. It was a closed circuit courtroom. The transcripts were sealed. So much was hidden. The government kept bragging about this amazing case that they have against Malachi York. You know, they got all this evidence. And if you had really all this evidence, why would you choose to have a closed circuit courtroom? Why would you not choose to broadcast, you see, why would you not choose to broadcast the whole trial? Nobody talks about the hung jury. You know, nobody talks about the fact that he was tried and went to trial on Martin Luther King holiday, which is a federal holiday. I mean, there's so much intricacy behind that. And to see where they placed him in ADX Florence, Colorado, you know, where the Unabomber is, places where extremely violent terrorist is. The Malachi York doesn't have any kind of terrorist associated charges at all. Not considered violent or anything. Never was considered armed and dangerous. I mean, nothing. But after studying the case and studying the numerous failed attempts by the various legal teams that he's had over the years, including the current legal team, which have absolutely accomplished zero, not even a simple medical transfer. If you study the case, you'll find out that Dr. York has been blocked out of court. The reason he's been blocked out of court is because failed appeal attempts. After you fail your habeas corpus and fail a certain amount of appeals, you're blocked out of court. You can't even get back in court. Okay, his state case was dead docketed, so that's a done deal. But as far as the federal case, which he's serving a sentence on, the only thing that can get the courts back open at this time is a motion for new evidence. Okay, and being that there was no evidence used to convict Malachi York, the only evidence was the government's key witness testimony, Habiba Abigail Washington. And she recanted her testimony after that trial, and the government would not accept it. And they was blocking motions left and right. So as far as the master teacher's freedom, just to be 100% honest, if there are things that have been in the process of working on his freedom, but at this moment, he can't even get back in court without a motion for new evidence. So just the raw facts of it. And the chances of even getting transferred from ADX is slim enough. The first step would be getting him moved from ADX to another lesser security prison. because people don't go home from ADX. That's not a place you go home from. That's a place you die from. Okay, the people that have made it out of Florence ADX, because we've done intense research on this system. The people that have made it out, they have to go through something that's first called a step-down program, right? And have to be released back into the population aspect at Florence, because at Florence they have the ADX part and they have what's called a USP, which is a United States prison, and that's where you have open dormitories, general population. So that would be the first step. So if the legal team will start to focus on that, then that would be the first step to securing his freedom. But it's been so long, man. The outcome looks bleak, but like I said, there is a way. There's always a way. There's always loopholes in the system.
All right, Elder Ramesu, it looks like you up and running, so I want you to introduce yourself. If you want to ask the quick brother a question after you introduce yourself, it's up to you.
Okay. Rahubat, Islam, all the greetings of peace. I'm just grateful to be here and be a part of this action. You know, I've known Malachi for some years, and I just want to tell people who are listening that when you study the case, you can see how he could easily be you, the way he was railroaded, you know, the way he was, and not only did Khonsu do an eloquent job of describing how they brought him into court on a federal holiday, Martin Luther King's birthday, but they also changed the venue to the hometown of the judge that he had a gripe with. When you study, and this is the same judge, right, who had to axe the grind because he lost a case, an earlier case with Malachi and his family because of someone who lost their life, you know, in a hospital setting. But anyway, this particular judge, he picked a jury, an anonymous jury, and so what I'm saying is that when you look at the case, you can see how it could be any one of us in that same situation and be oiled up for life. So I would strongly suggest to take a look at the new information, especially this new book that's out as the lightning come out of the east. Study that book, get a copy of that, you know, because it's going to be real vital that you understand how they trapped him off, and like I said, they can trap you off too. So I just want to commend the brother Khonsu for coming on this platform and sharing his experience, strength, and hope with the case, because we need to get information out to allow people to really, really take a second look at what's really going on. You know what I mean? And when we do that, you know, we'll be better prepared to deal with the legal system. So I just want to, again, you know, I want to commend you also, Set Haru, for having the courage to, do this show, you know, because, you know, there's a lot of haters out there. There's a lot of haters, you know what I mean? So it takes a lot of courage, a lot of perseverance, you know, and a lot of being on your square, you know, to stand for truth, you know? So that's all I have. You know, just keep doing what you're doing, Brother Khonsu, you know?
All right, with that, Brother Khonsu, it's all on you, brother.
Okay. Let me share my screen real quick, brother. All right. All right.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. You see my screen?
Yeah, we see it loud and clear, brother. Looking good, looking good.
Okay, so this is In fact, let me go to this first. The Man of Many Faces right here, right? This book actually has been out since around 2006, 2005. Around, well, that's a good point as well. Around 2010, there were update. This is Amazon, by the way, guys. I'm just on Amazon. Around 2010, there was updates from Malachi that he had received word about the Man of Many Faces book that's written by Yvonne Christensen, Daphne Harker, Nicole L. And in 2010, the updates came out where Malachi had made it aware that he had heard about the books, that he wanted everybody to support the books, and that he wanted the books to, and not only that book, but another book called Kidnapping of Dr. And he made it clear that he wanted these books in all the bookstores, and for us to help these books become bestsellers. All right, that's how impressed he was with the books and the information in the books, right? Because you have to understand, this is the first ever autobiography of Malachi York. I'm gonna say that again. This is the first ever autobiography of Malachi York. Okay. And currently he is the longest reigning black leader in America. Elijah Muhammad ruled about 40 years, and the master teacher is going on, if you just count 1970, is going around right now 41 years. Since 1970, since his first community was established, the Ansar community. That's 41 years. Actually, that's 51 years, excuse me. That's 51 years. All right. And if you count 63, 67, when his first publications come out, you can go back a little bit further than that. But I'm going to show the actual updates as well, where he mentioned these. Matter of fact, should be able to find them right here real quick. All right. Okay. All right, here go the actual updates. This is from the 2010 update. I actually posted the whole thing on my Facebook page. And on this page, he says, I'm gonna start with the middle paragraph. Says Satis had a message from Pa Muzal. He wanted everyone to know about the book, The Kidnapping of Dr. York. Website address. We have to have our people all over go into bookstores to ask for these 3 books. And if they don't have them, ask them to order them. We want to make them bestsellers. The Kidnapping of Dr. York, Man of Many Faces Part 1, and Man of Many Faces Part 2. All right. This was in 2010 when the Man of Many Faces came out. Unfortunately, most of the bookstores did not support, but it's okay because now we relaunched with a new updated version. Big ups to the Universal Yoruba Nation, the nation in NUWAUPIAN. Big ups to the brother Taharka. Big ups to Yvonne Christensen. Big ups to Nigeria, South Africa. Big ups to London. This book actually was overseas before it even hit America. And this book actually, what it does also is addresses the slander. I'm just going to read the brief details of the book. It says, this publication has been re-edited and readapted as a follow-up to the 2005 groundbreaking publication, Man of Many Faces, Part 1 and 2. Covering the Truth About Dr. Malachi Z. York by Yvonne Christensen. In light of the ongoing events surrounding the imprisoned NUWAUPIAN leader, Dr. Malachi Z. York, as well as the continued campaign of slander, misinformation, and character assassination against him, such as the recent slanderous and historically inaccurate People magazine investigates documentary Cults, Season 1, Episode 6, entitled The NUWAUPIAN Nation of Moors, aired on Discovery Channel July 6, 2018. Additionally, the new controversies surrounding the true identity of Afro Uno and the scandal of Africa Bambaata's homosexual allegations have compelled us as the co-authors and contributors of the Man of Many Faces book to revise, re-examine the true history and life of Malachi York from a much deeper biographical perspective in order to once and for all set the record straight. Okay? So that's the purpose of the book. All right. One of the, other than the autobiographical aspect of the book, it also addresses the slander. And it addresses the slander and the slanderers in depth. And I'm talking People magazine, the People magazine documentary, from Discovery Channel 2018, which is the main slander. We also addressing a lot of the guys on Sonetta. Of course, I was on Sonetta. And people, the main detractor of Malachi York is Chuck Morgan, other than the mainstream media, is Chuck Morgan, who's an ex-NUWAUPIAN. And we rebutted him and his fallacious website. We also did a psychological profiling on Chuck Morgan and showed his possession and obsession with Malachi York and why I mean, it's pretty deep, man. It's deep. And it teaches people how to address the lies with right knowledge, with facts about the case. Because Doc said that now you have to not only be sharp with the information, but you also have to be knowledgeable about the case, because people that the master teacher exposed, 360 questions asked the Orthodox Sunni Muslim, 360 questions asked the Hebrew Israelite, you know, all of these issues. When he got arrested, that gave all of these slanderers firepower to use against him without having the facts of the case. Just because his ideology disagreed with their ideology, then they used that as ammunition to attack him and to attack his character and to slander him even after 18, 19 years of being in prison. You got people like Chuck Morgan, Garfield, Tazariak, Divine Prospect, Young Pharaoh, who wants to steal Malachi York's information, then use it against him and slander him. All these people have used this man's name since he's been in prison almost 20 years for clout. For clout.
Wow.
None of them have you know, none of them have even equated. You notice it's never leaders that attack Malachi York. You never seen Farrakhan attack Malachi York. You never seen, you know, even Khalid Muhammad refuse a debate with Malachi York, and that's in the new book that Malik Zulu Shabazz just put out, Autobiography of Khalid Muhammad. He says in that book that Khalid didn't even want no piece of Malachi York in the debate. Everybody should get that book too. It's an excellent autobiography of Khalid. So what I aim to do is, brother, is from an outside perspective looking in, without even being students of his teachings, because that's how the brothers wrote this autobiography. It's extremely unbiased. I mean, it's extremely unbiased. And Yvonne Christensen, who put out Man of Many Faces Part 1 and 2, he explained how he was never a follower of Malachi's teachings, but he noticed that a lot of the old hip-hoppers, he was a journalist of hip-hop back in the 80s, and he noticed that a lot of these hip-hop groups from the 80s and 90s were members and followers of Malachi York's teachings. At that time, he was known as Imam Isa through the Ansar school. And that's what led him into studying the case. And these brothers said it took around 5 to 7 years of research to compile these books, brothers. 5 to 7 years of research. I mean, everything is in this book. Every single thing. And you can use the information in this book to counter the slander, because all the facts is in there. Everything they want to talk about is in there. And I'm just blessed to be a part of this. I did the introduction and the forward to the new version, and I'm blessed to be a part of this, man. I had read the Man of Many Faces book, like, I think I bought my copy in 2012, maybe 2013. So I had already read it and mastered it and studied it, and then started studying the case. I mean, and whew, just compile this information, these facts, and to address the slander point for point, because one thing about Dr. Malachi York, he never let slander go unaddressed. He always addressed it. When Bilal Phillips wrote the book Ansar Cult, he addressed that point for point, did a rebuttal to it. You know, so our purpose is to keep the legacy of Malachi in this, in the right image. We're not trying to make him look good. We're trying to just give the truth, give the facts. That's it. So like I said, shout out to the brother Taharka, man, University Yoruba Nation, NUWAUPIAN Nation. It took a lot to put this work together, a lot. Did the brothers have any questions before I moved on?
No, brother, go ahead. I'm giving you the floor.
Elder Remesu,
Okay.
want to chime in with anything?
Yes, sir. No.
Okay, let me
circumstances that Malachi D. York finds himself in. So I'm just a fan.
Hey, can y'all hear me still, brothers?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. All right. Okay, so let me show this real quick. This is from a newspaper clipping, Atlanta Journal-Constitution. And it says, in 1993, the United NUWAUPIAN Nation of Moors, perhaps 200 people lived on the property, which is protected by armed guards. Okay, it says Putnam County Sheriff Howard Seals says a 1993 FBI report links to NUWAUPIAN New York operations for welfare fraud and extortion, which none of that was ever proven in court. The intelligence I've got, okay, this is from Sheriff Seals explaining to the news about the 1993 FBI report. Okay, this is from another book called The NUWAUPIAN Nation, Black Spirituality and State Control. And in this book, it also says there's ample information on Dr. Malachi Z. York as data on the man, and investigation into his life reveals where they talk about his multiple personalities. Then right here where the red market says another 1993 FBI report. Right? So we're trying to get our hands on this FBI report. Here's another clipping. Same thing. A FBI report listed the group as a potential terrorist threat. The site. Okay, so what we're trying to do is get a hold of this FBI report. That FBI report will, oh man, that will be a major plus into the investigation, because one thing about it, we're not going to stop this investigation.
Right.
We want to know the inside outs. We want to know how you see, we want to know who these informants was. We want to know everything, because we know they was watching him for years and years and years and years prior to his arrest. So that's an important point I wanted to make. Let me say this too. Let me make this clear, because when you get into the slander, right? One of the main contributors to the slander, let me try to find a chart that's in the book. It should be coming up. Let me find this chart where it shows the list of all the main conspirators and slanderers. Right.
Still
So
there?
this is a chart from the book. Yeah.
Okay.
This is a chart from the book that explains in detail the conspiracy. It addresses the book Ungodly. It addresses the documentary from People Magazine. It addresses everything. The Montel Williams interview from Pauline Rogers, Nicole Ada Lopez, Tariq Noel, all of these alleged victims, all of these people. It addresses all this in detail. And then at the bottom, you have your independent street media and TV, which is Chuck Morgan and his site NUWAUPIAnism, which we did a point-for-point rebuttal. Garfield and the Dagger Squad, him and Aunt West, of course, Tarnoon of the Noonie Boos, and Tazariak of the ISUPK. Each one of these slanderers are dealt with in detail. There's a psychological profile behind Chuck Morgan and his obsession with Malachi York, and basically just exposing the truth behind why people are using the unlawful kidnapping and incarceration of Malachi York to gain clout on social media. Okay, so we're addressing that point for point. Here's just an example of rebuttal that I did at Morgan's site, and I didn't even get to mention this on Sonetta or Chrome TV, so I'm glad that the brother's giving me opportunity again, because this is one of Morgan's accusations on his website, right? And it's about Dr. York's usage of the term Tamahu to describe Caucasians or white people, right? And it says, as the NUWAUPIANs are the Tamahu and Hyksos Caucasian white people, as Dr. York's claim. Answer, they will have to say yes, because it's in their doctrine. And that's not true either. But anyway, what he basically does is say that, and this is all started not by Chuck Morgan, because Chuck Morgan is not a linguist. Let me say that again. This was not, inspired by Chuck Morgan, because Chuck Morgan is not a linguist. This is actually inspired by Wu Jiao or Rick, okay, who helped work on Malachi's case and used to be a very, very close friend and student of Malachi. He held very high rank in the organization, and he worked on the case. He ended up leaving after some years. And I wouldn't say that he's really slandering, but he kind of is in a way, because he tries to say that Dr. York's language was not accurate or equivalent to the meta-narrative, which Dr. York never said it was. And he's the one that started this claim, and he basically started off by attacking Champollion and Gerald Massey. Because if you read Champollion and Gerald Massey's work, they explain they call Caucasians Tamahu, right? So if you actually go to these people works and go to, okay, this is the next page on Chuck Morgan's site. It says, the point being, John Champollion, Gerald Massey, and others were absolutely wrong in their assessment that Libyans were of European stock, Caucasian, white, Aryan. And by default, Malachi York is wrong because he relied on Massey, right? So, and this is what they're saying, that when you look at the word Timhu in Egyptian hieroglyphics, what modern scholars, what Wallace Budge and maybe Faulkner and these other people, Allen, James P. Allen, they translated as Northern Libyan, right? Northern Libyan. And what they said was that Tamahu does not mean white. It ain't associated with, which Malachi York translated it also as living filth. Champollion them said that it was speaking about white people. Okay, well, where did they get it from? Okay. This is a physical description right here of the Tamhu Northern Libyan. Okay, you can clearly see their light skin, Asiatic eyes, Asiatic hair. They look like an Arab Jewish type, right? By phenotype, the physical description, how they look, because this was how the ancient Egyptians drew them on the walls. Okay. Champollion said the Tamahu is the European, right? Then he even showed more writings. So when you look at their physical description, when you look at their phenotype, look at their skin. They're light skin, Asiatic, mixed race. What these are the, precursors to the Caucasian race. You ain't got to do nothing but look at them and tell that.
Thanks.
Okay. Now, even when you go, so what I did a little research, right? And this research led me to find a couple things. The first thing I found was I looked up the Libyan Tuaregs and their haplogroup. Okay, I actually looked up the Libyan Tuaregs and their haplogroup. And the summary, it says the Tuaregs are semi-nomadic pastoralist people of Northwest Africa, Northern Libya, right? That's what Timhu, if you go to Wallace Budge Dictionary, it'll say Northern Libyan as Timhu or Tehimanu, right? It says their origins are still a matter of debate due to the scarcity of genetic and historical data, meaning there's not a lot of data that they can use, but what they do have, they can do the best, that they try. If you go down to the third to last paragraph, it says, furthermore, the maternal genetic pool, meaning through the Y chromosome, the maternal genetic pool through the mother of the Libyan Tuaregs is characterized by a major European component shared with the Berbers that could be traced to the Iberian Peninsula, as well as a minor South Saharan contribution, possibly linked to both Eastern Africa and Near Eastern populations. So it's a major European component in these people's DNA. You see? And so but they want to question that the Tamahu are not white people, or at least a close to Caucasian or proto-Caucasian, which the ancient Egyptians called the Amu, or the Western Asiatic.
Right.
But this right here is even the kicker more than that. I actually went back to Wallace Bush Hieroglyphic Dictionary. And on page 834, I found the word, remember now, Tamahu is also, some people say it's just that one word, Timhu, but the word Tema and Hu is two different words in the ancient Egyptian hieroglyphic as well. Tema, Hu. Tema or Timu or Temu here on 834, look at the definition of the word. All people, mankind, mortals, men, all people. So Temu is a word for people, right?
Right.
Then I found the word Hu or Hua, which means foul or beastly, filth, decay, to stink, corruption, putrid. And what did Malachi York, who is a certified linguist, what was his definition of Tamahu? Living filth or filthy people.
Right.
Right here in the hieroglyphic dictionary, right there. So you got people like Chuck Morgan that want to say that they made up the definition, but when you break it down as a composite word, you see it does mean living filth. And what did the master teacher explain when he talked why they call them living filth? Because they're poor living conditions.
Exactly.
They're poor hygiene. Remember, when the Europeans came to America, they brought disease, and most of the Native Americans didn't get killed by guns. They got killed by famine, by disease, plagues.
Right.
That's why the ancient Egyptians called them Tamahu, or filthy people, living filth.
Uncivilized.
So it can't be something he made up if it's right here. This is blatant lies and deception from Chuck Morgan. Blatant. And all it takes is just a tad bit of research. A tad bit of research is all, and it'll take you a long, long, long way. So I just wanted to kind of break that down to give everybody an idea of the type of information that's in the book and the type of information that we come with. We come on a scholastic level. We're not playing with these clowns. We're not playing with these slanderers who try to misinterpret what these teachings are about, who try to lie and slander this man about his case. All right, we coming with the facts. We coming with the right knowledge. We coming with the information, and that's what you can expect from the book. When you get this book, whew, man, it's a manual.
I can't wait to get my copy. I can't wait to get my copy.
Right now, oh yeah, oh man, it's going down, man. It's definitely going down. But I just wanted to share that, my brother.
It was deep. It was deep. It was right on point, and it was needed too. Chuck Morgan's a weirdo, man. I've been on his podcast listening to him. He's a weirdo. He's all over the place. He's all over the place. And in Tarnoon too. He moved to Charlotte, North Carolina.
Oh yeah.
He from New York.
Yeah. It's a brother, man. I don't know if y'all ever heard of this brother, but his Facebook name is Charles Age. Charles Agee. But he got a YouTube page called Official Illuminati, and he is a old time Ansar. If I'm not mistaken, he taught in London, and he was one of the first ones to find the link between the Noon Science books and Right Knowledge. And man, he got some powerful information on Noon and the Nature books, which as NUWAUPIANs, everybody should have read. If you haven't read the Nature books, you need to read them. But he got some powerful information on Noon. Oh man, he's powerful. So I wanna try to come back on and probably bring him back on to the state, because I learned a lot from him now. And like I say, most of the things that it's dealing with is Malachi York's personal life, and he always said people tried to attack him, attack his personal life. So we want to make sure we just keep some honor and some respect, get some facts to his name, and explain and come with the teachings the right way, the correct way, the way they're supposed to be taught.
But for real, from what I heard, his son Jacob was the one doing all the trafficking, right? Sex trafficking. He was actually the one who doing that stuff, and the government used him. And he put on his pots, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. According to the testimonies of several witnesses and the government's key witness, said that this whole conspiracy was started by Jacob York, which was his son. And he was disgruntled because his father didn't want anything to do with his music career and his career involved in crime and stuff. And he blamed his father for his mother's death. I mean, all kind of stuff. He was just disgruntled. He was a bad seed, and he the one that set up this plot with the FBI. Helped set it up, and it's so much information, man. There's so many factors to this conspiracy. It's even deeper than Jacob York. When you get down to the people that, like Dr. York's first attorney, the Garland law firm, according to him, he didn't even hire that Garland law firm. He said he didn't even hire him.
Wow.
And they didn't do nothing but pay that firm $1.5 million, and they tried to trick Malachi York into taking a bogus plea.
Gosh.
That's what everybody talking about, the plea. The plea that he did not take because he was not sentenced under a plea. That plea was rejected. We explain all this stuff in the book. We got the case files to back it up. But yeah, the conspiracy is deep, and according to the case files, and according to Adrian Patrick, if you watch some of his interviews, he said they tried to call Jacob York as a witness, but the government wouldn't do it. The government wouldn't get him on the stand.
It's bullshit.
And they found in the case.
It's kind of fun how everybody, like Fred Hampton, the Malcolm situation, and Marcus Garvey, everybody knew how the government is until it's come to Dr. York. Because everybody wants to say,
yep.
See what I'm saying? That's what I understand. Everybody know the FBI and the government is. When it comes to Dr. York, nobody
listen, the white man is the devil every day of the week except when they talk about Dr. York.
I swear.
You see, that's how they try to say. Oh no, it wasn't no conspiracy. Man, it was conspiracy from the jump because he didn't even receive a fair trial. Shout out to Bundy Laney, friends of Malachi. Shout out to Brother Bundy Laney, man. He actually worked on Dr. Malachi York's presumption of innocence, and actually have live interviews with Adrian Patrick and Bundy Laney that's still on YouTube right now. I learned a lot from Bundy Laney because he actually worked on the case as well. So it's a lot of people. Malachi's got a lot of support, man, from all over the globe. It's not just, he still got supporters and people that care about him and love him and read his books and stuff all over the world, man. Whether you want to call yourself NUWAUPIAN with a B, NUWAUPIAN with a P, Sabians, Ansar, you know what I'm saying, Cosmosin, Sufi, Sons of the Green Light, Ayo, whatever aspect of the teachings you at with it, the main goal is that we unite because we are all friends of Malachi, and he's affected our lives in some way, shape, form, or fashion. And we feel it's important to make it fair and put some right knowledge and some truth out there to counteract that negative publicity and that slander campaign surrounding him.
When it comes to Dr. York teachings, what's your favorite subject? He taught 360. He taught everything from more science to Kemet to Islam. He taught it all. What's your favorite?
Boy, that's a tough one. And you're right. He covered all those subjects, man. And the way he brought it all home. I came in during the school of NUWAPO. Okay, by the time I came in, he had already been done with all the degrees. So I had to literally go back and walk myself with him by way of the books, how he put the books out, and walk through those degrees myself in order to get that wisdom and understanding. And man, you know me, I'm big on Africa, man. I'm big on the animism. I'm big on NUWAUP. I'm big on the ancient Africa, the ancient Kemet, Nubia, Egypt. I'm on that aspect. That's my favorite aspect of the knowledge and information. The language, like I said, people try to say that Malachi created his own language out of thin air, made up the word Nuwapu. We found the word Nuwapu in Egypt in the hieroglyphics. I mean, we found over 250 words in the Nuwapic language right in the wall in the hieroglyphic dictionaries. So we know it's African in origin. So I would say, you know, that's my favorite part of the teachings and the language, the linguistics, because Dr. York was a certified linguist, went to the degree of Khartoum in Sudan, the University of Khartoum in Sudan, the University of Cairo, Egypt, Al-Azhar, and he used those Semitic dialects to further his knowledge in the hieroglyphics, because that's why he called NUWAUPIAN the ancient Egyptian mystery language, because he knew, you know, during the time when he was in his studies in the 70s and 80s, they knew that Semitic dialects were cognate or related or shared a mother language to the ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics. So that's probably some of my favorite aspects of the teaching.
Then we had a lot of greats. We had John Clark, Dr. Ben, Chancellor Williams, Shake the Up, Ashra Quasi,
Oh yeah.
Phil Valentine.
Oh yeah.
What separates Dr. York from them, in your opinion? Or facts?
One second. Man, that's a good question.
In all respect, they all
That's a real
work.
good question. Yeah.
Hey, can I chime?
Yes, sir. Come on in, Elder.
I think what separates Dr. York from those other teachers is that, you know,
Breaking up,
he's reading
sir.
from pre-arranged notes. Yeah, he's usually reading from pre-arranged notes. You know, same thing with Dr. Ben. He has right, just talk from the top of his head, and especially if he's dealing with scripture, right? He's taking you to the chapter and the verse, and he's explaining it based on, you know, the interaction of the conversation, right? I've never seen teachers do it like that, and I think for me, that would be the thing separate him from those other teachers. He's coming from the top of his head, and it's profound. He's not giving you, you know, opinion. He's to you as if you was reading it from the book yourself.
I agree. To me, personally, he took Kemet
Yeah. Oh yeah.
to another level. He took Kemet to another level. To a whole another level, you know. And it's yet to be proven wrong.
Yeah.
I agree with that too. When you get into I agree with that too, man. Especially when you get into you know, I didn't learn about Dr. Ben or Sheikh Anta Job or Elijah or Deuce Muhammad Ali or any of these people until I started reading Malachi's books. And what I think sets him apart from those different scholars that you met is that he was way more than just a scholar. You see, Dr. Clark, these were just scholars, archaeologists, you know, these are just scholars.
Yeah.
Dr. York was, he built a nation. You know,
Facts.
he was a scholar too, you know, because he's got his stripes in the scholarly field. And not only that, let's say this, even if he didn't even get into the religious teachings or that aspect, without that aspect, he still built an entire reconstructed the language. People say create. You can't create a language. That's linguistic. There's no such thing as creating a language in linguistic terminology. He reconstructed a language from older languages. You got to be a bad motherfucker to do that. I mean, how many people can make up? I mean, come on, think about it. Even if he did make up a language, how many people can do that? Hey man, I know somebody who, you know what I'm saying? That's like a miraculous feat. Like, come on, man, that's not easy. You know what I mean? So even when they say that, they really giving them props, even when they try to disrespect. But yeah, I think his works far exceeds any other leader I've ever seen or studied in North America.
Me and we're students of Doc. Elder Remensu was a bandmate and was there right next to him in the early days. How was the experience, Elder Remensu? Face to face dealing with him in the band and in teaching and studying.
It was unique in the sense that we would oftentimes be in his house almost like on a daily basis for rehearsals, depending on how many shows we had lined up, and it was just routine. After we did the rehearsals, then the sisters would have dinner for us. So while we sitting around, eating dinner, there would be a lot of table talk going on by him. And you would listen to him, and this is stuff that a lot of us hadn't heard of before. And the next thing you know, next week or the week after, a book would be coming out. And then we read that book, and it'll be like, wait a minute, we were just talking about this last week at his house. You understand? So it was a real good experience to understand the nature of how he was able to work all those hours working on the show, writing books, being able to do the question and answer classes on Sundays. He had a real busy schedule, and he was still top shelf. To me, that was very unique. And during those times, it was just us, the band and him. Because a lot of the people in the community probably wouldn't see him for maybe months at a time. That's how focused he was, doing what he had to do to carry that message. And doing shows was carrying the message. He said that if Martin Luther King had a voice, he would have been able to attract many more people to his concepts, to his philosophy. You understand? So he used that vehicle to express the doctrine, and how he was able to just talk to the small person, the person in the street that wouldn't ordinarily get that opportunity to be in that special place on Sundays for the question and answer class. So it was a really unique experience. I wouldn't trade it for nothing in the world.
What year did you meet Dr. York?
I met Dr. York in the early 70s. I met him in the early 70s at a question and answer class, and I didn't know when I met him that there was a group called Passion. I didn't find that out until later on by accident. But I had initially was attracted to the Ansar Law community because I used to see the brothers all the time at Jamaica Avenue with the long, I call them sheets at the time, but they were actually jalabias. I used to see them, and I really didn't give them no rhythm, because I was still considered a five percenter, and I followed the Honorable Elijah Muhammad basically, and but I was still getting high and partying. I didn't have no discipline, but I happened to see a brother who used to be on my paperboy route, and I saw him in the
Breaking up.
Doug dude. He was a Doug dude, and now I see him in the sheets. So I'm like, I'm really curious. So he gave me a book, Sons of Canaan. I'll never forget that. And when I read that book, it really, really, caught me. And then I saw a book that was advertised in the back. It was Jesus Christ really crucified. So that question really, I was like, what are you implying? That Jesus was never crucified? So I wanted to get that book. I was on a mission to get that book. And unfortunately, I was derailed because I ran into a brother who I thought was from the Ansar community because he had on, white jalabia, but he was a Sunni Muslim, part of Dawah Islam. And he was, trying to tell me, just get some hadiths in the Quran and don't even go down there, and because they was hating on him then. And the more he told me not to go down there, the more I said, nah, I got to go check the question and answer class. And when I did that, it just so happened that the brother who was giving the class, he was giving a real good class, And so somebody asked a question, and before the brother could answer the question, here comes Imam Isa out of the back. I didn't know that was Imam Isa because I was thinking I'm going to see the brother who's in the imma, which we call the turban, and total white with the little, shepherd's staff. I thought that's who would be stepping out, but this brother had a kufi on. He was short, and so he started answering the question. And the brother who was giving the class, he didn't say anything. So the brother kept coming to the front, and then he came in the front. So he started taking all the questions. I was really amazed. So at the end of the group, I had a book on me. I came up to him and I said, I showed the picture of him in the book, with the turban on. And I said, excuse me, brother. I said, is this you right here? I pointed to him. I pointed to the book. He says, he started laughing. He said, sometimes, but that was Malachi. You know what I mean? Well, it was Imam Isa at the time. So that's how I initially met him. But, I got to know him a little better as I began to really be a part of the community, And at that time, I really didn't move in. I didn't move in at that time, but I moved in some time after that. But that was my first introduction to Imam Isa. Yeah.
I'll make a statement, to Brother Khonsu, but all of everybody who's listening on Facebook, whoever. If you go look at that case, he looked drugged up. He don't look the same guy. He like he been drugged up or beaten, like you said. He been beaten or drugged up. It's those stands, the way he was standing in that courtroom. That's not Doc.
Nah, not at all. Not at all.
And then like Brother Khonsu said on Crumb TV, he said him, Doc, and Elijah Muhammad got locked up the same day. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, that's right. May 8th.
On the same day. May 8th.
May 8th. Yeah, that's right. And the funny thing about it, I'm glad you said that, right? Because when you see him in court, right, you got to understand how the CIA works. They will be relentless in how they don't let you get no sleep, and they drug you. They drug you. They are already known for dealing with hallucinogens, LSD and things of that nature. And all you have to do is go back to the Timothy Leary era, when they use that form of intoxicants as a weapon,
Mm-hmm. Brother Khonsu, got any more things to say? Can you tell everybody where to get the book from? Where to find the book? Any more things to say? Key points?
Yeah, you can find the book. We're reaching out to all the bookstores to give everybody wholesale distribution. But if you just want to buy a copy for yourself, you can buy it on Amazon. You can inbox me. We got some good deals going on right now. We mainly trying to get the books out to everybody that's teaching in the bookstores. Because it's just an important book, man. It's a must-have. When I first read Man of Many Faces back in 2012, it was a game changer because you need to know the history of any organization you belong to. A lot of us wasn't around. The elder Bremesu has some amazing experiences that a lot of us, younger people will never be able to experience. So to have him around to still share those experiences is a wonderful thing. And the amount of research that these brothers put in this book came from a lot of information came from elders that walked with the master teacher over the years. So I would like, because we always revising and updating stuff. So I would like to get the brother, the elder Remesu, possibly in the new updated version, you know, with some live experiences that he had with the master teacher. Because man, that stuff, that, whew, like he said, man, those experiences, man, when you walk that path, boy, it's a lot. So you can find the book on Amazon. If you run in the bookstore, we can get you for wholesale prices. Contact me or Brother Adafa to Harken the L on Facebook, and we can make that happen. And like I say, the main point of this is just to keep the truth out there and to keep the legacy of Malachi in this right, pure and pristine form, and to offset some of the negative publicity with the truth.
And being said that, one question for Elder Remesu. I'm gonna come back to you, Khonsu. Elder Remesu, out
Yes,
of all
sir.
the years you've been knowing Doc, the master teacher, have you ever seen him acting weird around children or any women,
No,
strong
not
homely
at all.
women?
Not
Could
at
you
all.
put your life? Could you put your life on that?
Oh yeah. I've never seen him, do anything that was inappropriate. I could tell you a story one time that the Muslims, the Sunnis from Herkimer Mosque came on outside of town and they was marching down Bushwick Avenue. And I seen Malachi because we all came out. We thought it was the new Mujahid that we was forming. We heard them coming down Bushwick Avenue talking about Allah Akbar, Subhanallah, Allah Akbar, Subhanallah, Allah Akbar. So we seen Malachi, Imam Isa at that time, come out of his house, and he had like a machine gun in his hand. He was running across the street, ran through them to get to the Mu'minun, the children's bait, to make sure they wasn't going to do anything to the children. He was very protective over children. So I've never seen him do anything inappropriate.
Great. And I've been knowing you for a while, Elder. Any type of guy be stressing them, be lying for nobody. That ain't for me.
Yeah, that's right.
I tell you, I'll tell it like it is.
No doubt.
But we really do appreciate Brother Khonsu. He's a real champion.
Yes, he is.
For Dr.
Yes,
Joe
he is.
and for the black community. He's a real
Yes, he is.
champion. And I'm very
Yes, he
proud
is.
of him,
Yeah,
I appreciate it, my brother.
He reminds me of me some 40 years ago when I had a lot of energy because Khonsu has a lot of energy. He's very articulate. You know what I mean? And that's what we need. We need 100 more Khonsus right now.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah, my brother.
Definitely. We're gonna be talking about
One thing about me, guys, I try to realize this, and the elder, and y'all know this, man, as being students of NUWAUPIAN, the teachings are extremely detailed and intricate. It's multi-dimensional, it's multi-leveled. And a lot of people can get lost in the information if they, if they're not here with it. Some people stray towards more, different aspects of the teachings, but in my studies over the years, man, I just found out that the core principles of everything he came to teach, because remember, he said, what I originally came to teach was what I gave you in 9-ball and Bible interpretations in 1963 and 1967, which was NUWAUPIAN, right? And he had to go back through the schools, break the spell of religion, then to come back with NUWAUPIAN around, 93? And some people got lost during those degrees. Some people, got stuck in certain degrees. But one thing that I've realized about these teachings is that it's not for the simple-minded, and that it can often be misinterpreted. But once you get down to the facts and to the core of it, It's about evidence, experience, and reason. It's about right knowledge. It's not about belief. It's not about religion. It's not about faith. It's not about hope. It's about being the deity that you are, being the God that you were created and that you were born with this innate divinity, and expressing that by questioning, asking questions. That's why he taught Nuwapu through question and answer form, because it's designed to spark the intellect, right? This is the root of it. So just having that basic understanding, man, is how I'm able to, because a lot of the people, especially Slanderers, they'll take one piece of the aspect, like the extraterrestrial aspect, and make it look like that's all it's about, you know, or take one piece of this and say, well, oh, well, hold on, back, he was teaching Islam, and then you turn into the Sumerian, and then 1 minute y'all Christians, and, you know, they don't understand the process by which the degrees and the schools of thought were laid out. So some people can be confused, some people can, looking from the outside in, it can seem confusing, but that's why you have to have the right knowledge and sequence. And if you're going to get into it, you have to study and know what it is in order to not misinterpret.
I noticed the things that I read in the old scrolls, like in the, the old scroll, man, before the holy tablets, right? I know people like, wow, he's crazy. He's crazy. But I see the stuff he was talking about in the 80s and early 90s is happening right now. Word for word.
Right now. Right now.
So them so-called things is crazy now. You might see it in another 20 years. You might not see it now.
And that's a fact, brother, because you talking during the 70s. 70s, when nobody talking about that, you know,
Right.
even on that level of information. And he said it back then. He said, I know y'all think I'm crazy because some of the stuff I'm saying, but it's okay. And he even said, you don't even have to believe what I'm saying right now. It's cool. Just wait.
Yeah.
And now we have the president of the United States, you know, admitting that there's life on other planets. We have the United States government now has a United States Space Force, which is a military for outer space. I mean, we just launched another probe. I think today another probe landed on the moon. I think they got 5 probes on the moon and a helicopter.
How about and Roswell, New Mexico in 1947, right? When the so-called spacecraft hit the Earth, right? What the government did was immediately form a council called the Majestic 12.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true. Brother Jerome want to come on. We're a little late, whatever. Brother Jerome, peace. Right back. Seheru, you up? Well, if y'all want any kind of closing statements, whatever, I'm here for another 30 minutes, half an hour.
I'm gonna call it a night.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Any last statements, Brother
What's
Khonsu?
that?
Any last statements on Brother Relensu first? Are you going to be here first, so you know? Any last statements?
Me?
Yes, sir.
Oh no. I just want to say that I want to get up with you, Khonsu, so I can pick up a copy. You know, we'll talk.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right.
I got you.
Okay, brother. All right.
I want to tell the family who listening. Right back. Why do? I want to tell the family who listening, still listening. I'm glad y'all chimed in and listening. Y'all stay safe out there. We love y'all. Stay supporting Dr. York. And the ones who hating, y'all keep on hating. But y'all can't stop the information. Because it seems like every 5 years y'all get proven wrong. And y'all biting this stuff and don't want to give the man credit. Y'all really plagiarizing him. Y'all talking about he plagiarizing everything. Y'all plagiarizing his stuff and won't give him credit. And that's the facts. Khonsu, any last statements, everybody?
Yeah. Hold on real quick. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, I just for some closing statements, man, I just want to show once again the book. Um, and like I said, man, it's just been a long time coming. You got a lot of people still today in the conscious community today that is making a living, gaining clout off of their name by slandering and defaming the character of this man. And so we just want to set the record straight and bring the facts. This book is a necessary part of that step because not only is it autobiography of his life, but it also addresses the slander that everybody is talking about, and it sets the record straight, man. And like I say, if anybody feels that the information in this book is wrong, hey, your job is to write a rebuttal to it. We'll check it out. I'll buy a copy. If you can refute what we're stating in this book, come on and try it. Go ahead, set up the debate.
That's right.
Set it up. I already debated the case live on the Lions Den. Shout out to the Lions Den, my brother Jeremiah Judah. I already debated the whole case against 3 different people on the Lions Den and won the debate because people don't know what they're talking about because they haven't studied the facts of the case. They just go by what on YouTube or what they seen
Right.
on the news, you know, or what they read on an article on Google.
That's
You
right.
see, so we coming to set the record straight because even though the master teacher's been incarcerated this time of this, for this duration of time, um, we're gonna make sure that even in his lowest points, he still shines like the sun that he is. And we are his children, we are his sons, and he got sons all over the world, not just in the United States. Trust me,
That's
Yvonne Christensen and Adafata Harkin Nicole L are Africans. This book was pumping in Africa before it even came over here. So this is what we all about. All right. So I just want to say that, man, check out the book. Go get the book. We're trying to get into all the bookstores. Rahubat to all the Muwapu, Musabatu worldwide. Listen, we need to get this book in all the stores. People need the facts. And that's what we're here to do, man. Shout out to Sonetta. Shout out to Chrome TV. Shout out to Jeremiah Judah, Lions Den. Next, I'm gonna try to get on Far Eye Speaks. The sister Far Eye X has a wonderful platform as well. And we're gonna work on getting on that next because we're not stopping until this book goes to #1, goes to a bestseller, and till people get the facts. At this point in time, we calling out everybody, all the slanderers, all the naysayers. Come on. Here we go, right here. Just what you want, let's go, let's dance. And we're not just talking crap. We're putting out books, we putting out videos, we putting out works. We're dealing with the facts, right knowledge. This is what NUWAUPIAN is, not no religious belief system. We don't give a damn about your beliefs or your opinions. We're going to give you the facts. You ain't got to like Dr. York, but you will respect him. And that's all I want to say. And I definitely appreciate you having me on, brother.
Yes, sir. We very appreciate you. Anybody who came in late, this will be on NCRBGZ Productions on YouTube. Once again, NCRBGZ Productions on YouTube. Y'all go on and like and subscribe and ask questions. We appreciate the elder coming on. We thank Stuart for having us, Set Haru. And Brother Khonsu, you're a champion. We appreciate you coming on. And to all, you have a good night. Right bye. Wadu.